Previously on the Infinite Escape Room.
Shuffling through the trench coat.
Just want to crack it like a creme brulee.
Bailinator Jones isn't good at thinking, so she's just going to grab a double-headed axe.
Transform into a goat.
Back into the tin when we're finished.
Hello, and welcome to the Infinite Escape Room, the puzzling podcast where a group of geographically diverse chums come together, have a drink, and work together to solve a homemade escape room of the ears. You join us now for part 2 of our Quest special. That's right, we're doing a 4-part fantasy quest adventure using the Quest RPG system. There's story, there's puzzles, there's fighting, there's funny. We think you're going to love it. If you have not listened to part 1, then quickly hop back, listen to that first, then rejoin us now at part 2. This is a 4-part special recorded over a 6-hour monster recording session. Boy, oh boy, was it intense. All just for you lovely people, you. And none lovelier than our brilliant, excellent Patreons. And in particular, we'd like to give a special thank you to Delana Andrews and Caroline Hardman. Thanks so much to everybody on the Patreon programme for keeping the wind in our beans, the hair on everybody's head but mine, and the podcast generally online. If you're interested in the programme, check it out over at patreon.com/theinfiniteescaperoom. Anyway, back to the show, where we quickly reintroduce ourselves, having just come back from a wee break. Hi, I'm Mike Collins. I am playing Clam Stromlington, the Bard Naturalist, and I'm now drinking a Mallow Quest Shandy.
Fabulous. So I'm Bailey, and I'm playing Bailinator Jones, the half-orc fighter, and I'm now drinking a lovely little pint of Magnus cider.
And I'm Ben Levy-Griffiths, playing Forquare Quendien, the halfling wizard. And this episode I am drinking a Reverend James beer.
I'm Jamie. I'm playing the 3 goblins in a trench coat, Luck, Stuck and Bugger, the spy, and I'm on the uppers and the downers right now. I'm drinking a coffee as well as a bottle of San Miguel.
Vodka Red Bull for people in their mid-30s. I'm Tony Conway, and I'm playing the role of the guide, so I'm voicing all the NPCs and narrating the action as it happens to these characters. It happens to you. You have no agency. I'm the puppet master. No, that's not true.
More information about our characters and abilities can be found in the episode show notes.
Previously on the Infinite Escape Room Finite Adventure Quest, our adventurers found themselves, or our regular players found themselves in the bodies of adventurers Bailinator Jones, Forquare Quendien, Clam Stromlington, and Luck, Stuck and Bugger, aka Ellis, 3 goblins in a trench coat. The players found themselves in a cavern underground where they solved a funny little puzzle with some basins that they had to put stuff in. There's some mysterious poetry and a little wooden token that they carry away with them. They fought a very scary blood jelly, which was trying to eat them, but with some fancy footwork from a shape-shifted goat clam and some fiery action from Forquare, the jelly was defeated. And they've just caught up with their patron for this particular mission that they're on, Theodoric the Historian, who is hoping to find some mysterious treasure that he's not fully revealed at the end of this treasure hunt that you're on. The end of the last session, you all decided to head into town to go to the Crystal Bazaar, which you and Theodoric have figured is one of the locations mentioned in this poem that you've got the first few lines of, to see what you can find. I believe at the end of the last session we agreed that you could all learn 1 new ability. So what have we all picked?
So Clam Stromlington has learned the ability Thorn, because he's thorny, where he can open his palm, conjuring a poisonous thorn, which he can then project at people. He can ejaculate thorns at people. That is the correct use of the term.
Gross. And if you roll that like an attack, don't you?
Yeah.
So you might fail. But if you get a 20, then you get...
I get to cause an allergic reaction.
You get to give it a hideous allergic reaction so it can't see. That's gross. I love it. Ellis, Luck, Stuck and Bugger, what have you learned?
So we've got an ability called Feather Hook, which is a magic grappling hook that sails through the air and attaches it. Anybody who's seen the Goonies, you see Data who's got the pinches of peril.
Sure.
To grab something, it's basically that. Opens the trench coat.
Perfection. Forquare, Ben.
Forquare has learnt to conjure a familiar. I guess it will come in any form as required at the time of casting.
Ooh. Nice. Is that as a compliment to Boo? Or, sorry, Cry, your new rat friend?
Yes, it is, yes.
Lovely.
Not wishing to send Cry into battle to die another death. Don't think Forquare can take it.
Yes, and Bailey, what ability have you learned?
Bailinator Jones has indeed learnt flow now that she understands the game. And so when you roll a 20 on a basic attack, you'll briefly enter a state of intense focus. After completing your initial track, you may immediately make one basic attack on each enemy within reach. These attacks are automatically successful.
Nice. Yeah. We better hope for some 20s.
Yeah, that's there's a lot riding on the 20s. So I better
absolutely. Cool. Okay, so we are heading towards the Crystal Bazaar. You walk into, or you come across this huge cross-shaped building, and you can see from hundreds of meters away the glass dome that is vaulted over the center of it. Huge, almost mother-of-pearl glass dome made out of lots of different geometric shapes and patterns, all folding up into one big gold spire that sticks out of the top. You come in through the main entrance, and you find yourselves in a very high, very open building. It's almost like a cathedral or something like that. You know, very high ceiling, or like a Victorian. It's what I imagine a Crystal Palace looked like before it burned down. I'm not suggesting anything here. In the centre of it, you can see there is a sort of rich, lush indoor garden, almost like a big greenhouse at Kew or something like that. And then on each of these, I don't quite know what the right word is, but each of these sections that come off from the middle, you can see all sorts of interesting, exciting stalls and products and people demonstrating different things in this bazaar. So as you come into the middle, to this glass-domed garden at the centre of this legendary market, a spectacular illusion appears in the air, and it's a woman that you all recognise, having been in this city for a few days. Welcome to the Crystal Bazaar, she says, where we make your dreams real. You recognise this as Brell, who is she is a phenomenal magic engineer, creates exciting products. I think we've already come across at least one of them in Forquare's pack. Who sells all of these exciting magic wares at the Crystal Bazaar. Her main space of operations. And she is now sort of glad-handing and shaking hands and chatting to people in the garden and pointing people off in different directions to go and see different products.
I'm just saying, this, like, that description, again, this is internal thoughts maybe rather than Bailinator Jones, but it sounds a lot like the geometric patterns and the semicircle and the spike coming off it when we were underground, and the magic box which Ben put the tent in.
Forquare was thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Unfortunately, no way of knowing because it's all internal thoughts.
It's all, but also Forquare got into Bailinator's mind maybe and thought that's what she's thinking. She just hasn't got the ability to say, fighter mind. So I don't know.
Sorry, I'm just choking on my water. So there's this big magic department store to look around. There's all sorts of exciting shit. What do you want to investigate?
Clam would very much like to browse the magical department store, like a kid in a magical department store.
Yeah, sure. So what I'm going to tell you is I've set this aside in a document for you. Goodness me, sorry.
And there was only ever one episode.
Yeah.
It's going to be one of those masterpieces. Van Gogh wasn't appreciated in his time, and I'll become the next great GM after I'm dead.
As finite as they come.
So I'm going to copy across. Yes, exactly. A link to a document. Oh, Jesus. That you should all have access to. Yes. So this is the stuff that is available in the store.
Ooh, okay.
That you can all look around and see. So we've got Brell's boat in a box. We've got Brell's bountiful banquet. Brell's charismatic couture. the Endless Quest, the Everlasting Bear. There's a whole bunch of things on this list. If there's any one of them that you're particularly interested in seeing, that's great. If you want to have a closer look at the building or talk to Brel or talk to any of the traders, Brel's staff, who are the kind of floor sales folks here, then you're more than welcome to.
Oh, this is good.
I think
I'm enjoying browsing this.
Yeah, I know.
I think Ellis.
There's the item catalogue for this game is great.
Yeah.
I think we'd make a beeline for the for Brel's boosters, the winged shoes, to make our walking speed a little less ungainly.
Yeah, so Brel's boosters are a pair of sturdy leather boots with wings on the side. When worn, they allow the user to glide across the ground as if they're skating on ice. And you can also spend an AP to get an extra long jump that allows you to jump across gaps that you normally wouldn't be able to. If you are trying to jump too big a gap that is beyond the boot's capabilities, they will keep you planted to the ground and stop you jumping. They'll let you know that you're overreaching.
Yeah, so we just give those a thorough inspection. These.
A young elf woman with pointy ears comes over to you and says, "Hello, can I help you in any way?" I don't know what voice I'm.
I don't know where she's from.
What am I doing here?
These elves.
Yeah.
Hello. We are a big and tall like you. These boots. If we wear these, we will be able to walk properly.
Sorry.
Momentarily, this young elf woman looks dumbfounded by the question, like genuinely confused, because they don't understand. Firstly, because you're referring to yourself in the plural first person, which is confusing. But then again, you meet all sorts in an area. It's a big city. And she says, what accent am I doing? I can't do a Welsh. I'm not doing a Welsh accent. It's just happening now because it was like dialing it up. And it's now my brain is just going there, even though I've always told myself.
Do it, Tony.
Because I don't
Do
insult
it.
anyone by accident.
Do it.
Oh God. And I'm really stuck now. Where's she from? She's Australian.
Okay. Yeah.
I can't promise that they'll make you walk any better than you already do, sir, but they will make you graceful when you're trying to move across the ground quickly.
It's a really good Aussie accent, by the way, Tony.
Yes,
really good.
Well, we do struggle a little bit with walking like normal people do, so I think this will be useful for us. Yes, we will take these boots.
Okay, sir, that's great. How will you be paying?
What?
Payment, sir. Nothing comes for free in the Crystal Bazaar, I'm afraid, apart from the exciting experience of being here and potentially meeting Mr. Brel, Mrs. Brel, Ms. Brel.
Okay.
Brel's written as a man in the book, but I decided Brel was going to be a woman.
So we shuffle through our trenchcoat pockets to try and find some things that, lint, what's this, a tooth? Don't know whose that is.
She's holding her hands out like...
I don't know what
stuff.
this one is. You can have that one. And
okay.
And the dagger comes out. And this dagger, there you go. Will that be enough?
Perhaps we can see what we can do. Why don't you come with me to one of the sales desks?
Okay, I'll pocket everything else and just put it back in.
She's like wiping her hands on her jump. They're all wearing waistcoats. They're all wearing like some maroon waistcoats with gold trim, and she's like trying to wipe the rankness off. And she takes her over to a sales desk to try and barter this dagger away. I think that, yes, you can have some boots. Why not? We'll swap your dagger.
Thank you very much.
Boots.
Oh, these fit lovely. Oh, what is this button on the? I press the button on the tongue, and just one leg goes. Wow! Wow!
Just pulls you onto the you fall over backwards. Little.
This is amazing.
Little legs flying around everywhere. Excellent. This is the button you squeeze on the tongues of the boots to activate the extra long jump. I won't charge you any AP for that because you didn't go anywhere. But that is powerful. Okay. Great. Bailinator. What's your course of action in this place?
Oh, I really like the look.
Are you looking at products or are you looking for something else? You know, what's the plan?
Well, I just think Brel's Everlasting Bear looks really cool. The gummy bears that make you, like Alice in Wonderland, big. Because I think she'd love to be bigger, even though she's 6'9". She'd love to be even bigger. But I don't know. I think Bailinator Jones would just be like scoping out the landscape, maybe seeing if there's any kind of weapons, like that kind of, or maybe somewhere to grab an ale and just wait out and just kind of do a bit of people watching.
Sure. Why don't you roll for me as you kind of you're trying to suss the place out, and let's see what you learn.
See if I learn anything. Roll. Oh, 18.
That's great. Oh. Okay. There is a little cafe kind of thing. So they're not serving ale, but they're serving coffees and cakes and things like that. It's like a bookstore in the noughties. So you
just thinking black books though. When they're right.
Yeah. So you sit down and are served a very nice cup of coffee. Actually, it's very enjoyable. It might not necessarily be to Bailinator's taste, and they bring it to you in a bucket. They bring you a really big one because you're massive, right? Are you 7 foot tall or something?
Nearly, yeah.
So yes, they bring this, and as you're looking around, you actually notice the floor of the building has this really impressively elaborate tile pattern of all sorts of interesting geometric shapes, and it kind of matches what's going on the roof and stuff. But then every 10 meters or so, you actually spot a tile that has the same icon, that kind of graphic representation of the roof that you saw in the chamber underground at the beginning. So that semicircle with the pattern on it and the spike, you see that on the ground, and you notice that they're kind of arranged in a row, and the spike is always pointing in the same direction.
So the slip of paper, to find the first, follow the signs beneath the startling crystal dome. Perhaps we could follow this path.
Okay.
So has Bailinator Jones told anyone this yet? That she's
that's up to you.
Yeah, I'm going to tell everyone. Obviously, we're good. We're all the quest pals, so sure. Let's go for it.
Yeah, I think Clam joined you for that coffee, to be honest, because this is all beyond his ken. This stuff, he's not clever. He's not smart. Yeah.
Clam, cool. Do you notice those tiles? I noticed. I recognise the symbol. It's what we saw in the underneath. Sorry, she's not very good.
In the upside down.
The underground. What do you think? What do you think it means?
Clam shrugs. He had not noticed these. Now he's like, oh yes, I absolutely did notice these tiny patterns that you have not just pointed out to me this second. I shall alert the rest of the gang.
Everyone has an ideal and a flaw on their character sheet, and I believe that Clam's flaw is oblivious. Yeah, Clam's flaw is oblivious. So that really tracks with what we're seeing.
Yeah, I'm being consistent to my character.
Absolutely. Okay, so you are you going off to find the others, or are the two of you just following this together?
I think.
And Forquare, did you join them for coffee?
Oh, actually, I
feel like Forquare would have joined them for coffee.
Yeah,
what's Forquare doing?
Oh, there was cake involved, of course. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So we're just leaving. Are we leaving Ellis with his boots?
We're having a great time. Don't worry.
Bouncing around. So you follow the signs, and they go a bit of a sort of wiggly, circuitous route around a few of these tiles on the floor through a few different sections of the store, and you get to see some of the items in action. You see somebody smacking the button on the side of a tent in a tin. You haven't had a chance to use yours yet, and it pops up into this huge. It's like a marquee, basically, right? It can house up to 30 people. You see that going on, and you see one of the shop floor people taking an everlasting bear and shrinking down to half their size, and then having another one and growing to double their size, and it's all very exciting. And then you get to a point where the tiles are pointing towards a door that looks like it's staff only, and you can see it. In fact, you can see it written on the door. It says staff only, and you can see a couple of shop staff loitering around in front of this door, sort of keeping an eye on things and. So they point towards that, and then they stop.
I would very much like to be behind this door. Are there any visible apertures or anything in the door?
What, like a keyhole or something like that?
Yeah.
Yes, there is a keyhole. It's a door with a lock, but there's not like a big hole in it or a window or anything like that you can see through.
I was vaguely contemplating turning myself into a fly.
Oh, sure. I mean,
look.
it's a late medieval, early modern kind of building, so there are bound to be some. What's the smallest you can go down to?
Housefly
is a fly. The small housefly. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you could probably find it. You could probably fly through the lock or something like that. It's like a big chunk.
It was either that or transform into a rhinoceros and just kind of walk through it. But I feel like
you've already got a Bailinator, so you don't need a rhino.
One of Forquare's abilities is that he can teleport to a location nearby. So can I use one AP to teleport to the other side of the door?
Is that the blink ability you're using there?
It is, yes.
Okay, great. Yeah, by all means, burn that point and you can pop to the other side.
I'm just saying as well, just one of Bailinator Jones's abilities to provoke. So, and I could maybe distract while you're like doing all this. I don't know if needed, but just so that's something I can do.
I
think we're fine.
Yeah. For now, I think Forquare is pretty unassuming, right? Like he doesn't stick out. Yeah. He keeps very quiet and anonymous. So I guess you step behind some shelves or something like that, and then the text of the ability says you teleport to a location of your choice, you vanish, leaving behind a gentle gust of wind, and then instantaneously reappear nearby, which is just very funny. I like to think you make a little fart sound.
Yeah.
As you say, the incantation is joined with a "huh," and then
perfect. Yeah. So you make your little fart noise, and a couple of people's heads turn like sniffing.
Did you do that?
Figure out what that was. Was that you? You start an argument between a couple where it's like, stop farting in public. Disgusting.
It wasn't me. God.
It wasn't me. Yeah, God. So you teleport, you blink into this to the other side of this door, and you are in a basically like a storeroom.
Mm-hmm.
There's crates all over the place with various Brel items in it and stuff like that. It's mostly at the moment it's tent in a tin, a new shipment that's come in from the magic factory outside of town. I don't know. I don't know about supply chains. So yeah, you're in this kind of storeroom basically. There's a torch on the wall. It's dimly lit.
Does it look like I can open the door from the inside?
You can try.
Forquare tries to open the door from the inside. Not like swing it open, just like see that it is unlocked.
Yep. Why don't you roll for me? We'll see what the outcome is.
Oh, sorry, that was 11.
That's a success. Okay. You push the handle down and you feel the door yield as you give it a very gentle pull, and it opens slightly, and you stick your head and you can see through the gap the three people on the other side who are sort of milling around outside it, but they don't notice that you've done this. So you can, if you want to shut the door again carefully, you're more than welcome to.
Let's shut the door up again, because I probably shouldn't be in here, and have a little look around the crates.
Yep. Okay, so you're having a sort of sniff around the room, let's say, looking at stuff, and you spot one corner of the room is kind of damper than the others, and you can actually see that there's some of the stucco work on the wall, the sort of plastery stuff, looks fresh and not very well done compared to the rest of the room, which is like quite well constructed. This is an old building that stood the test of time. It's been here for a long, long time, and it's been a lot of other things. That's one of the things Theodoric mentioned to you before you left, that this hasn't always been Brel's Crystal Bazaar. It's been a couple of other things before that, like the city market and stuff like that.
Very tempted to take my dagger and to see if I can scrape some of this sort of damp plaster off of the wall.
Yeah, sure. So you get in there with your knife and give it a wiggle around and scrape away. And the rest of the room is like very obviously solid brick, but behind this, it seems like basically a stud wall, like, or what's it called? Dot and dab type thing, like just very fairly temporary shoddy looking interior wall type stuff where it should be a lot sturdier. Well, the rest of the room is much sturdier.
Possibly a fake wall.
Ooh.
Ooh.
I'm wondering whether Clam could join Forquare at this point.
Yeah, sure. I mean, we should let's try and get in with Forquare. Well, I mean, why don't we
I can just guard.
Well, we could meet up with LS and B
Yeah.
And come, like, we could, I mean, because I could just, like, I could fly in as a fly or something. But if we, like, create a distraction somewhere to see if we can get past these people, or maybe we could just talk to them and see if they'd let us in. They might just let us in.
Yeah. I've got an ability called disguise, so if I am able to find bits and pieces from around the shop to make me look like a member of staff, I could try and convince them to let everybody through.
Oh, try and look like a supervisor.
Or health and safety.
So the wording here...
Yeah.
The wording here for that disguise move is anytime you're in a room like a bedroom, armory, or office, you may find objects to use. So if you can find a room like that, or maybe like get behind a counter without anyone noticing you, then yes, you can absolutely use this.
Can I find out like a disused clipboard and try and steal that? And...
Oh, yeah, all right. Let's say
and a hard hat.
Oh no,
let's say
I've got a way around this. I've got a way around this. We could do.
Go on.
So there was the sales desk right earlier, yeah. So
yeah.
If Bailinator and I cause a distraction by having, I don't know, a big shouting match all of a sudden, then LS&B could get behind the sales desk to do their disguisey nonsense. Would that work as a course of action we could attempt?
You could if you want to, yeah.
Let's get extra.
Your mother was the Green Giant, and your father was one of the Hulk's balls.
Balls? What? Oh, God. Oh, I've got to think of something now.
Oh, the Green Giant. I thought you said the Grain Giant. I didn't understand what the Grain Giant was. The Jolly Grain Giant.
Yeah,
it's my accent.
Yeah. Excellent.
I don't understand vowels.
I think Bailinator would just look at him and just give him a little slap. Just no words.
I go flying.
Which gives him a concussion. Let's be honest.
Push him through a wall. Yeah.
Keep my mom's name out your fucking mouth.
Yes.
My giant mum's name.
Keep my giant green mom's name out of your fucking mouth. And then give you a bit of a Will Smith.
Smell Bill
slap.
Smith. Yeah.
that was good, Jamie. I like that.
Cool. You guys have had a weird argument. Jamie's managed to put his costume together regardless. Okay, so now Luckstuck and Bugger don't really look like a member of staff. Put all of this on over the trench coat. You're a little sort of wobbly, tottering green goblin. But you're wearing the boots, and a lot of the staff are, they look like they're visibly wearing or using they sort of live the brand. Gross. And you have the hat and the clipboard and the vest, the waistcoat. So you are now ready to stroll up to the door and look like a supervisor. I don't know if you want to call attention to yourself or you just want to let yourself in.
I will. I think we'll just walk toward the door with that air of superiority, like we belong there, and just we point at Clam and Bailinator and just try to make our voice sound not like three goblins in a trench coat.
For the listeners there, Jamie. For the
come hither gesture, yeah.
I'm doing a come hither gesture.
Crikey.
And we walk,
no erotic role play.
Is that with all three sets of all three goblins come hither? It's out the coat.
That's a good question, actually. Is so while Jamie's inhabiting this body, have you got used to having 6 arms and 6 legs yet?
Not yet.
Are you able to? Okay, so you're still when you're walking with your little feet on the ground, the other 2 sets of feet are kicking backwards and forwards at the same time.
So you can see the area where our nipples would be. Just start to do a little Charleston with
the back and forth. Great.
Yeah. So as we do the come hither gesture with the main arm, you just see 2 other claws from the nipple area and the crotch area slide out and also do similar come hither gestures very subtly.
Clam doesn't need telling twice. He here comes.
And we strode towards the staff room door, barely glance at the staff around, and then go to open the door with Clam and Bailinator behind them.
Fab.
Excellent. I'm just pouring myself a beer. One moment.
For added effect, we'll just gaze at the clipboard and furrow our brow a little bit.
Yeah, just sort of thoughtfully contemplating.
Like somebody's going to get fired.
Yeah. Who's next? Cool. Okay, so the 3 of you make it up to this door. You are in this disguise, which makes you look very official, despite looking like a sort of weird clothes hanger with legs. I don't know whether there's an element of jeopardy of you inviting two randoms in, but I guess if you look like a supervisor, that maybe they look around and sort of one of them raises an eyebrow of like, what's that? And you
tap the clipboard.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And try to make our voice sound a little bit lower. Do not question the clipboard.
He said 3 times.
My authority. Great. Okay, cool. So yes, you managed to get in, and there's Forquare waiting for you in this storeroom.
Silently pointing at the bit of wall with a dagger in his hand.
Holding his little dagger up.
Clam considers turning around and leaving.
It does look dead. Well done.
This is the clip from The Simpsons of Ralph going, "I'm in danger." No, Clanfield. Jolly good. Okay.
Okay.
So what are you doing?
So, I don't, Forquare, do you want to explain your findings so far to us?
I think it's fairly evident.
Okay, cool. I mean, I have a way of getting through a fake wall. It's called Form of a Moose. Where I turn into a moose and just walk forwards until the wall's not in front of me anymore. So I guess, unless anybody's got a more subtle way, I'll give that a go.
Well,
Bailinator
I could
Jones
just push one of you through
whack
it.
us through it,
Knuckledusters, but I'd rather see a moose do that, to be honest. So
Okay.
let's go for it.
So
Yeah.
I'm cool with this. I do want you to roll.
Oh, yeah. Cool. I'll deduct my AP first as well.
Yep.
I was going to say,
but I do
how
want you
much
to-
AP do you have, Mike? Because you've used this.
It's going down. It's going
Yeah, I was going to say.
That's all right. Well, the when you get stuff done, you win more, so it's okay.
Okay.
Roll for me,
Okay.
and we'll see whether there's any.
Okay, so first of all,
Fall out.
turn into a moose and gently start pushing myself into the wall. Form of a moose. And let's roll. Hey!
Yeah, that's an 11. Good. All right.
Nice.
So you managed to drive one of your massive. I mean, mooses are huge. This isn't a big room. And there's not a lot of space in here, but somehow you managed to make it work without like knocking over every box around you with your massive antlers. The antlers are like 12 feet across, aren't they? They're enormous. Anyway, antler into this shitty bit of wall, and you smash it down in a way that's subtle enough that it's busy out in the shop, right? It's noisy. There's lots of chatting, so nobody notices. People are expecting to hear the shuffling of boxes and crates and stuff like that here.
And walls.
So you bust through this wall, and I don't know that you can fit through this in the form of a moose.
Okay.
But let's roll with it anyway. I think it's fine. So you all step through this hole in the wall, and you find yourselves on a ledge, looking down at another cavernous underground chamber, much bigger than the last, rough hewn from the stone and suffused with bright light. There is a reservoir below you, a couple of 100 meters across, and it has a small island in the center, and you can see some kind of moving mass on that island, large blue-white blocks shuffling around on the shore. And beyond that, there is a kind of circular wall right in the middle of this island, maybe 50 feet high, like it's a big wall. This is a big cavern, and there's a big wall there. And you can see what looks like maybe a tiny doorway in the middle, but you're not quite sure, which is flanked by torches. Beyond that door, you don't know what's beyond there. You can't see past it.
Okay. Is there any way to get to the island? Or we should probably look around, sorry.
We're way above, aren't we, on a ledge?
Yeah, you're I don't know, you're probably about 100 feet up, something like that.
Okay.
So you're looking down into this big chamber from the side.
Okay.
Does any...
It's the kind of jump down onto the sort of shore below you that would definitely break a lot of bones if you did it unaided.
Yeah. My feather hook could be used as a rope to dangle down, but it says you can tie any length of rope to the hook. Do we have rope on our persons?
Yeah, I think we can assume that somewhere between you and someone's pack there's a bit of rope. I mean, you know, if you want to add it to your inventory, just say, I have some rope.
Yeah, cool. It came with the hook.
So your plan here is to, like, attach it and use a sort of reverse...
Yeah.
Like a counterbalance against it to gradually go down.
Yeah, so just take the feather hook potentially out of out of the trench coat, slam it into a nice solid bit of the ground, let the rope dangle down into the reservoir, and then climb down.
Oh, okay, so you're just using it as a grappling hook. You're not using the kind of magic of it where it floats up. You're just
use it as a box standard hook, and then when we're at the bottom, just give it a jimmy, and then get the hook back.
You go. Cool. Okay, that sounds great. All right, you go down the rope, and you find yourself on the shore of this reservoir. It's like black sand beneath your feet, and a few hundred meters of water between you and this island in the middle. You can see the sort of shifting mass on the shore. Well, I don't know how confident you all are as swimmers. I can't imagine Forquare swimming like half a kilometre.
He got his 5 meters badge.
Not a problem.
In the shallow end.
Not a problem, because your old pal Clam has the power to give you all gills.
Oh, sure.
Yep. So he's got the gills power, where I can enchant a small amount of water in a container that I'm holding, and I have my magical brandy. I spritz the water on a creature, and they go small, visible gills, allowing them to breathe underwater for up to an hour, which gives me enough to enchant up 6 people. So I'd like to enchant my magical brandy. I'll deduct my rapidly diminishing pool of AP, and
that's the point of the game.
Go, come hither, and sprinkle magical brandy on everybody.
Ooh.
Like a delicious aftershave, like dab it on.
I think Bailinator could probably, if Forquare holds on, she could just swim and drag him along, and he can breathe.
Less the being able to breathe underwater and more the like going anywhere.
Yeah, I'm just saying she'll cover more surface area. I'm just thinking than like your little flippers, little limbs.
Just a thought. I guess this is you've used up all 6 of those charges because you've got luck, stuck, and bugger.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sprinkle them out. Please sprinkle them on our nipples and crotch. Otherwise, I don't want our middle or bottom to drown.
Okay.
You don't want to asphyxiate your nuts.
Man, it really is lucky that it said up to 6 charges. If it had said 5 or 4,
it is.
Could I use? Could I activate my Brell's boosters then instead to try and jump the?
Why don't you try it, and I'll tell you that it's too far.
Okay. So we like a pair of Nike Air Jordans. We try to pump up the Brell's booster by pressing the tongue to try and leap across.
And you feel as you kind of lean forward into the jump, you feel the boots like pull back on you and basically tell you, no, it's too far. No, thank you.
Number 5 is a lie. No, disassemble.
We're getting a refund.
Yeah, so, I mean, you all have gills. Perhaps we can just walk across the bottom and have a little look at this island.
It's classic Clam, always trying to walk across the bottom.
What?
Okay. You all wade into the water. You are lucky. There's no horrible beasties in there. There's just, it's just water. You get to the other side, and as you get to the other side and you all sort of start to get out of the water and you're up to about waist height and you can now see more closely, in the kind of soft glow of this room, you make out what these sort of shifting, moving blue blocks are. And you realise that it's inside these blocks. These blocks are ice. They're large cubes of ice. And you can see inside of each one, there is a very large, probably about 6 inches long, ant. And its legs and mandibles are sticking out of the ice, and its antennae. And they are all shuffling around on the shore, looking rather threatening, I'd say. These big, cold, scary blocks. And you can see there's some armour strewn about. There's a kind of couple of piles of stuff that they appear to have built out of shields and armour and old swords and things like that. So you get the feeling that maybe you're not the first to have come down here and tried to get past these ants.
I feel that if we point at them and shout freeze, it won't do much.
Yeah.
Lol.
My finger was hovering over the button.
Yeah. Oh my god. Okay.
I mean,
freaky ants. What are you going to do?
Who wants to
Anyone got a flamethrower? Or maybe, Clam, you could turn into an ant and make friends with them.
I don't know. No.
Clam Strumlington, the friendly ant.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like his jam. It doesn't feel like his.
No, well, you get a bit too friendly. Yeah.
You don't have to just move in one direction, right? Like you can go back the way you came. You could go anywhere. You are not sealed in here. This is not like the classic escape room thing of you're in it and you have to get out. You're trying to get to the middle, but
we could perhaps go up or down the shore,
sealed in, yeah,
and go around them.
Yeah, the four of you or six of you all walk around the outside of the island, and there's just these ants are everywhere. Basically, they're like all the way around this weird little tower thing in the middle, this high wall with the door in it.
Okay,
there's just it's just ants on ants on ants.
Which Bailey's idea is pretty good then. Clam would probably go against his instincts to turn into a not sexy animal.
Well, how is a fly sexy or a moose? Like,
hey, I'll fly with this really bad.
To a lady moose, a moose is pretty fucking sexy.
Hey, there may be some lady ants.
You're transforming into a large ant.
Form of a large ant.
So you shrink down and scuttle out of the water. I guess a large ant with gills. You're maintaining the gills, and as you get close to them, I guess you have the senses of. So you feel these things don't communicate with words. They're not a particularly verbal bunch, given that they don't have any kind of like noise glands. Gross. Regrettable choice of words. But what you do feel is there's like a vibe coming off of them. And I think when you're back out of your ant form, you'll probably be able to engage your thinking brain. Clam doesn't have a thinking brain. A scientist would tell you that this is like pheromones. Like they communicate by producing
Feely stinks.
Hormone-y chemical stuff in the air that they smell, and that acts as like a signal that changes their behavior. And basically, all you can get from this big crowd is two things. One, hungry. Two, protect. So they're hungry, and they'll eat anything that comes close enough. And you can feel that, and you start to feel it yourself, like almost this overwhelming urge to eat. And two is protect. Don't keep the tower safe.
Can I approach the tower in my anti-form?
Yes. It's a bit of a struggle, but you managed to get up close. Are you going for the doorway, or what are you doing?
I think I'll go for the doorway. My thinking being that I could always potentially catch a grappling hook on the other end or something if I can get up the tower and then get the rest of the gang up.
Interesting. Okay, so you go over to the door. And are you poking your head through, or are you staying outside?
I'll poke my head through, I think.
Still in the form of an ant?
Still in the form of an ant.
Okay. You scuttle through just halfway through this door, and you see inside an open space, probably maybe 10 meters across, something like that. Not big, but not tiny, like the interior of this tower. And in the middle, you can see one of those little marble pedestals. But between you and that marble pedestal is a truly gigantic one of these ants with a much bigger, abdomen, thorax, a much bigger, longer body. And this thing's about the size of a moose. This thing's enormous. Also encased in this huge block of ice, sitting kind of guard, basically, in front of this pedestal. And the smell that you get from it, the feel that you get is this one is in charge. And this one wants to be fed.
I would like to scuttle back to the rest of the gang at a high rate of scuttle and revert to man form of a man.
After you've passed all the ants.
After I passed all the ants.
Once you're back in the water. Okay, so you're back in the water. You are now back in form of a clam man.
Form of a clam. No, not form of a clam.
Form of a clam.
So do you feed this all back to us then?
The feely smells instead of pheromones. The feely smells. They are hungry. They are protected. And there is a big boy, a very big boy, on the inside in front of the pedestal.
Right.
Does anybody have a method to kill 1 million ants encased in blocks of ice?
Well, fire.
Some powder.
Yeah. Can Forquare kill them with fire? And I'm thinking ice as well and melt it. Or maybe would something happen if the ice melts? Do they?
I mean,
just as a reminder, there are thousands of them, and they are what Clam has picked up is fighty. Like they're feeling pretty combative in their protection.
Need some sort of chemical weapon like anthrax or something. We need.
Does this tower have any windows further up or other?
No.
Damn.
No. There is a sort of soft glow throughout this place, and disembodied light that obviates the need for windows. Ants can't fire arrows. They haven't the joints, so there's no arrow slots yet. Give it time.
Do none of us have anything on us that is sort of edible that we could feed?
Not on you, but
you're right, Ben.
Oh,
we are food.
You've got options.
I'm wondering if we need to turn around and go back through the reservoir. Maybe there's something else on the other side that we didn't explore.
Maybe.
Where to go?
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, Bailey is just like, she's just ready to go. So, like, I think you guys need to kind of take charge on this one because she's just going to go mad. So you need to kind of pull her down.
Like a Swansea girl on a hen night.
Pretty much, yeah. She's on Wine Street and she's pumped up. She's arguing with the bouncer.
She's arguing with an ant.
Anti-ice bouncer.
An ant bouncer. A bouncer. No.
Bouncer.
You head back across the water. You're back on this black sandy beach. You head back up the rope, up to the ledge again. Are you going further back? Are you going into the store? What are you doing?
Ooh, well, it is a store. There might be food, something stored in there.
Well, we saw.
I wonder if there's something in the catalogue that may help us.
Oh, the magnificent morsels.
Yes. There's also a bountiful banquet.
Literally irresistible.
There's also one called a bountiful banquet that is a 3-course meal for up to 10 people or thousands of ants.
We could get both.
We were eyeing up the magnificent morsels earlier. I think Ellis would have gone absolutely bananas to try little candies that have weird magical properties to them. So Ellis makes a beeline for the morsels.
Okay, cool. You bump into the same sales representative, this poor elf. And she's like,
You again.
"Oh, hello again, sir. It's great to see you back. What can I help you with today?"
Is it like a tin or is it like a little sweetie bag?
I think it's a little cardboard box with this like cellophane insert, so you can see inside all the different colours.
Okay, what were you going to say?
These funny little beans.
You're still in disguise. You look like a supervisor now.
That's true. But she's like, she recognises, she's giving you a funny look, like, why are you wearing it? Did you get a job here? Are you a secret shopper? What's going on?
Secret
She's
shopper.
pretty perturbed.
I slowly unpin the name badge from the trench coat and just put it in the pocket for later. What do these do?
They are Brell's magnificent morsels. They're incredibly delicious sweets for the whole family. They are just delicious and wonderful, and everyone has a sort of exciting, mystical surprise.
Oh, could we try one?
Sure.
Oh, superb. Just pick one at random.
Yeah, let me... I hadn't thought about what these might be. Hang on a second.
Are these going to be like the Harry Potter beans, where they're either like, elderberry and joy, or come.
Vomit.
Turd.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
Those are the two extremes you went to.
Goodness me, said
Please
Ron.
roll the dice to see what you get.
Goodness me, said Ron
Almighty.
recently.
Like
This
hot
tastes
jizz.
like cum. Said Harry. I'm surprised you know what it tastes like, but thanks for the info. I won't have that one.
They're public school boys, of course they know.
Yeah, let's face it. Or is it red wine puke? Just like harking back to Ben's colleague.
Right, okay. So you try this thing, and you... I'm yanking something in from D&D here, because I, like custom D&D, because I couldn't think of a better way to do this. You try this thing, and in your mind, in your eyes, you see, very close by to you, just right next to you, a unicorn appears.
Oh,
just standing in the aisle in the shop, just sort of standing there looking impassively at you, sort of gently breathing out of its big unicorn nose. It kind of turns its big unicorn head towards you and gives you a little nuzzle.
Oh, where did you come from? You are a very fancy boy, aren't you? It wasn't the top goblin that took the morsel. It's one of the ones from the centre, so he peeks out from within the trench coat and tries to pet the unicorn that isn't really there.
Little piggy eyes, yeah.
Is this like that bit in Ratatouille where he has like the perfect ratatouille and like that whole...
Yeah, Proustian,
Okay.
Sort of Proustian
LSD,
recollection.
like-
Yeah, so you're there for about 60 seconds, just carefully petting this unicorn, and then it disappears.
Oh, it's gone. We'll take it.
Of course, sir. Yes.
We have no more daggers. What do you require for these?
I'm trying to work out whether she's like. Do you work here, sir?
Pick up the clipboard. Yes. Put the name badge back on. We are Keith.
Right. Are you the new supervisor?
A voice from within the trench coat goes, absolutely.
She's like wide-eyed. She's like,
We then move the mouse on the top goblin to make it's just like a delayed thing. Absolutely.
and she's just looking at you like, great. Well, you have a great day, sir. You take, that's the prerogative of the manager is to take the products and move them as they need to. So I'm just going to go.
Fantastic.
She just walks off. She's had enough of this.
What is your
weird
name?
interaction.
What is your name?
Huh? Barbara,
Barbara?
she says over her shoulder as she walks off.
Very good. You shall be recompensed at the next quarterly. And then we scarper.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's like walking off. She's like, she's wearing a little hat, a different hat to you, like a, sales associate hat rather than a manager hat. She takes it off and stuffs it in her pocket and goes out for a cigarette. You're the fucking weirdos you get in this place. I've had enough. So off she goes outside.
We scarper back to the main group.
How many packs does Alice get?
I think there's 10 in a pack.
Well, 9 now.
Well,
9,
yeah.
Yeah.
Just thinking.
No. There was a sample bowl.
Oh, yeah.
There was a sample bowl.
Oh,
So you took one from the sample bowl.
Cool.
just
Got a pack of 10. I'll put that in my inventory.
will that be
So
enough?
by sheer force of weirdness, you have managed to barter some highly addictive sweets.
So, these sweets are irresistible to creatures. Perhaps they're irresistible to ants. We simply scatter 1 or 2 in the lake, and then we waft in the direction of the ants. And hopefully they walk in and they die, they drown. Or because they are in ice cubes and displacement of water and da-da-da-da-da, they float. Either way, they are not a problem.
Good, yes. They may see a unicorn, but don't worry, it's not real. And if they try to pet it, they may fall in too. Yes, very good, very clever.
Yeah.
Cool. So should we fast forward to this plan taking effect?
Back through the broken moose wall, down the tunnel, splosh through the lake with our gills.
Yeah. Splish splash.
It's like going on a bear hunt.
So them beans.
We're going on an hunt.
We're not scared.
I'm a bit scared.
I'm a little bit scared.
So where are you throwing the sweets? You throwing them in the water? You throwing them at the ants? What are you doing?
Could we take one of the morsels, get a little bit closer to the ants so that they can pick it up the waft, and then retreat?
You get up to the edge, and as soon as you open the box, there is this like surge as they all come towards, and they don't get in the water, but they are like baying for these sweets. They can smell them, and they are like losing their tiny little ant minds
Like
in excitement.
Metal Gear Solid when it spots you, like like all the exclamation points.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. All their little blue cones are focused on you.
Oh, so
Cool.
we take one of the morsels and put them in the trenchcoat pocket, but we've got 9 in the box. Go, would you like these? And then upend them into the middle of the lake. Come and get them.
They surge forward towards the edge of the water, but they won't go in.
Bugger.
They can't get in the water.
Oh, well, maybe we can just use them to distract them so we can get to the tower. So if one of us takes one of the beans and puts it at like one side of the island, and the other one takes another bean and puts it on the other side, then they all surge in that direction. We keep it out of reach so they can't get to it and finish it off, and then we just walk straight up to the tower.
Nice.
So Clam takes a bean and
Go for it, Clam.
Yeah.
Go for it, boy.
You've not dumped them so deep in the water that you can't scoop them back out.
Yeah.
They are now very sticky. like, oh, it's a sticky mess. You each run to either side of the island with a couple of these sweets, and the ants definitely go after you. Like, you end up with a perfect, like Moses parting the waves, this perfect path of ants up to the door.
Forquare lifts his staff to mock parting the ants. He feels very powerful.
Okay.
Cool. Okay, so you're now up to this door. What's the plan?
Let's go to the door and through it.
The door is very small.
Oh, no.
Forquare might fit through, but I'm not sure about the rest of you.
Ah.
Oh, the bloody...
the everlastic bears. Damn. And I was looking at them.
Back to the shop floor?
But the ants will be back, so we need to buy more morsels as well.
Well, they can't reach them.
No, they can't get to the... Yes.
Because they're not just going to...
Yeah, I think the ants are not, like, clever. They're just all surging and all fighting each other to try and get to these morsels.
Okay, so they'll be fighting by the time we come back. They won't have, like... I mean, some of them might be dead, but, like... I don't know.
Yeah, sure. Sounds reasonable.
Okay.
Yeah, so back up to the shop floor.
Back up we go.
Cross the lake,
back on the shop floor.
through the
He's
wall,
like just,
out the store.
Yeah.
Knackered, I
Just
presume.
want to
from all
smash
the
a
swimming.
skull. An anti-skull.
Well, yeah, so you find the everlastic bears. How are you, like, what's the approach here? Is Ellis just doing more sheer force of weirdness?
I think
you've got more chance of charming. Like, Bailinator is just going to, like, take him by force and cause a scene.
I don't think we even need charming. I think we just do stock rotation. I think we just under LSB's kind of guidance. So LSB sits there standing, watching us with the clipboard. We just rotate the stock and put it into the... Listeners can't see my inverted comma fingers. Bring it into the stock room.
Before we come out of the stock room for the first time, let's pick up some Tensioner tins from the stock room.
Oh shit!
And
there might be some in the stock room.
Is there any in the stock?
Yeah, let's have a look in the stock room.
We'll take a roll for that.
Okay.
Go
Who's
on,
going to roll?
Clam.
Why doesn't
You
Clam
do it,
roll?
Clam.
Clam, give us a roll.
16.
You find a box in the corner
Yay!
of very out-of-date Everlastics, but they look like they should be fine. They're non-perishable. Yeah, Everlastic bears. So, just to give the description of those, shimmering magic gummy bears. They appear to each contain a rainbow. When consumed, the gummy bear either makes the eater up to twice their original size or half their original size for up to an hour. Eating multiple gummies does not stack the effect. The effect is limited by the user's surroundings, so they won't make you so big that you would hurt yourself if you're in a very small space.
Right, I'm just saying, if we still within the hour of gills?
I think you've got maybe 20 minutes left before Mike has to spend some more AP to do it
There's
again.
a boat in a box as well, I can see in the list. So, but that's we'll crack on. I'm just thinking if there's anything else that
Bailey, you're making a very strong point. Let's raid the shit out of this stock room.
Yeah, I'm just thinking, like, just if there's anything else.
So yeah, all right. If you want to find this boat in a box, why don't you roll and we'll see if there's any in here.
Do you want me to roll?
Yeah, Bailey, go for it. It's your idea.
Ah, 5.
Oh no, that's a 5. That's a failure.
Oh no.
You are rooting around in here, shoving stuff about. Basically, none of you are giving any care for the fact that there's like a shop full of people outside. And you arouse the suspicions of a member of staff who comes in and is like, what's going on in here? Yeah. Who are you? Like pointing at all of you, like, what's going on? What? Are you new? Pointing at LSB. Like, what is... no, you all need to... You can't be in here. This is a staff-only room. Get out, get out. What are you doing in here?
Oh, dear.
Scram! Down the hole! Down the hole!
I think
through the wall, down the hole.
Can I silence him?
What does that mean?
I don't know. Push him for a wall. I don't know. It does what she does best.
I mean, you could physically attack him if you want.
Only a little bit. It's only a little rougher. I mean...
Okay, let me just... How much HP does a regular person have? All right, cool. Go on.
Should I try and, just give him a little punch?
Bailey, it's your character, it's your decision.
I'm not going to swing my battle axe. That's a bit much, but I'm not going to chop it in two. I mean, I might not. My dice, my last dice was not good.
You can make an unarmed attack. Like, you can punch him.
That's all. Just like that. Like, in the... knock him out. All right, I'm going to... Okay, is that all right?
Roll an attack.
I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
15.
Okay, you punch this guy clean in the face. And he staggers backwards, like, out of this door, like... Oh, my face! Oh, my God, what the fuck? And there's, like, blood. You've clearly, like, broken his nose. And there's just, like, blood streaming down his mouth.
Oh, I didn't knock him out then.
And you're very close. Yeah, no, you landed a solid punch, but I think it's only 1 damage that you do with an unarmed strike.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah. So what next? You're very close to drawing quite a lot of very, very unwanted attention.
I think we should all we could all just hide in the lake. I mean, like, we could all just run down to the tower and this could be our problem for later.
We've only got 20 minutes with 15 probably.
If I retract the feather hook once we get to the bottom of the lake, they can't follow us unless they've also got feather hooks. But that's a skill, not an item they can buy from the shop. So
yeah,
that's a good point.
It might buy us a bit of time.
They could use the umbrellas from the store because that allowed them to.
They're going to Mary Poppins that shit.
Yeah.
It's almost like I planned a series of physical challenges in this place that are all solvable with things from the store.
Right. Shall we just...
It's only taken us an hour to figure that out.
Oh, my God.
So, really should have put a time limit on it, shouldn't I?
Do we think...
Okay, go on.
Do we think that we need to collect more things now, or shall we just go back and forth? Because while we do have gills for presumably about a quarter of an hour, presumably some of us can swim and so could go back separately if required.
There's nothing to stop Mike using that ability again.
Yeah, I could.
Well, no, I know, but only the fact that he is dwindling AP will.
I felt like we were close to the actual solution of this because it's a big ant who's a boss, and there's a pillar in the middle, which is like the thing in the other room. I think we just go, we kill the ant, we grab whatever's in the pillar, and then if they chuck us out, That's fine. We'll have nicked whatever the high value loot is from the inside. I think let's just do it. Let's just
leg it, boys. Let's go
down into the lake.
Go!
And are you taking the grappling hook with you?
Yeah, after we slide down, we jimmy it and...
Cool.
Come on, LSB, we gotta go!
Okay, so you splash into the water, power your way across with a few minutes of gills remaining, and the ants are still desperately all trying to kill each other to get hold of some of these jizz beans, whatever they are. No, they're not that. They're hallucinatory beans or something. I'm rolling on the wild magic table from D&D. It's fine. So, yes, and you make it to the door. Our Clam and Bailinator both having an everlastic.
There.
Go for it.
Yes, so you both go down to your half size, and the 4 of you 6 of you, carefully creep through this doorway. And so in the middle of this room is this gigantic ice ant standing guard in front of this pedestal, waiting for you.
And
what are you going to do?
And we're all 3 foot tall.
For the moment, yeah.
For the moment.
You have the option to reverse
Some of us are always 3 foot tall.
Well, I know, and that's fine, but a lot of
on top,
my skills... We can all pile
half the original size for up to an hour.
So we'll have LSB and then Forquare Clam and
FLSB.
So just jump on each other, get a trench coat. It'll be great.
It's like Muppet Babies.
Oh, God.
Okay. This is surely your. This is your like. This
well,
is your moment.
I'm 3.5 foot tall now. Like this. I need to kind of. That's what I'm saying.
I think you've still got all your strength. I don't think. Like it doesn't mean that you half your attack scores or anything like that. You can still do all your abilities.
Okay. Cool.
You're just dinky. You're just Forquare's normal size.
Like Thumbelina. Great. I'm gonna do what am I gonna do? I'm gonna do an ability. I'm gonna do a wild attack.
Fantastic. Okay, so you attack with reckless power, disregarding your safety. Describe a signature style for this attack and what it looks like when you make it. And then there's a series of different results based on how you roll the die. So why don't you roll a 20-sided die for us?
Oh, God, 8.
That's an 8, which is a 6 to 10. So you deal double damage to the enemy, but they counterattack you. So
God.
That's cool. That's still double damage. That's great. So you talk me through it. Like, what does this look like? What is your signature style?
So when you I think Bailinator, her eyes just like roll back into her head, and she just like her mouth just goes slack, and she just lets out this like bare roar, like freezes the blood of her enemies. But then she like rips into a backflip, and like while pulling out her weapons, like and fists or whatever it is, like Matrix style, and like, and then just goes nuts. Nice. So that's what happens.
It sounded like a stroke in the opening.
What?
Well, her eyes roll on the back of her head.
The eyes rolling back.
The jaw goes slack. She tastes toast.
Have you been watching Moon Knight? Is this when Bailinator Jones turns into Stephen Grant?
Actually, it's really good.
Oh God, I've got a terrible accent. We're coming for you, Oscar Isaac.
Yeah, well, he's great American, but not so much British.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I mean, yes, that's easy when you grow up there.
Yes, that's true.
So he's Guatemalan or something, isn't he? Anyway, you, as you say, thunder forward and your axe, like, you land a thunderous crack into the ice that surrounds this thing. Like, this thing is in these sort of multiple cubes of ice all sort of joining its limbs together, and you just, right in the middle of it, huge splintering crack down the middle. But as you do this, your axe gets stuck for a second, and it lunges forward at you with its pincers. Oh. And what's the result for you there? Double damage to the enemy, but they counterattack you. So you're going to take 2 damage from that. So take your HP down by 2.
8.
Yeah. So you're now on 8 HP. Yeah. So this thing grabs you with its claw and manages to like put a dent in your chest.
Oh.
Forquare, what do you do here?
This feels like another time for a magic strike. Again, I'll overload the missile to increase the damage to 4.
Great.
Is that another 7?
Cool. Okay. So you're going to do half damage there. Your spell charges up and bursts out of you. Have you got a wand or a staff or something?
I've got a staff.
What does this look like?
Yes, I pointed the staff at the ant.
The blast of energy comes out of the end of your staff and flies towards it, and the ice around it acts as kind of armor. So you manage to widen that crack that Bailinator's made. You heard me. And you're definitely breaking down the defenses of this thing, but it's still looking pretty sturdy. Clam, how are you approaching this?
Make sweet love to it.
Clam, well, even Clam has limits, he says, as he uses his newfound power of thorn, projects his hands forward and goes, "Taste this, my prick," and fires a prickly thorn at...
Right. Roll the die, please.
14.
That's a 14, great. So the thorn hits for 2 HP. Cool, so you're still over by the door. Your thorn fires into this progressively widening crack in this main block of ice that the other two have made, and that is kind of there as a wedge, something that could, if you hit it just right, could really burst this block of ice in two. LSB, you are currently in 3 parts. How do you act as the swarm?
Okay, so one of my abilities is a sneak attack, and it says once per round I can do a sneak attack. Does that mean that I have to activate it on my turn and that's it? Or is it I can activate it when the time comes?
There's not really a wait mechanic in this game. Like, you all take a turn and then I take a turn on behalf of my sequence of things. Yes, you can do that as like a reaction during the enemy's turn. So yeah, you can save that and do it later.
Cool. So so we'll do a basic attack with a scimitar. But what we'll do is basically run under the legs or whatever of the creature and sort of power slide and with a scimitar underneath to try and get behind it.
Going for the crack. Okay.
Oh yes.
As always. Okay, cool. Yeah, roll the die.
Okay. 13.
13. Great. Yes, you land your hit. Manage to wedge the sword in, and you hit for 2 points of damage. Ooh. The Frost Queen, Bailinator Jones, immediately in front of you, immediately in front of this gigantic, sprawling ice ant thing. It rears back again. This time your axe pulls out and you hear the crack of the ice as it comes out, and you can see the thorn that Clam shot stuck in it. But it lunges forward. It's coming straight at you.
Right.
Pincers snapping, trying to get to you. So that is going to do... That's a 15, which is a hit. So that is going to do 4 damage to you.
Damn.
As it
no.
manages to stagger you backwards, and
oh god,
grabs hold of one of your arms and is tearing at your arm.
Oh god. Okay.
Ellis, if you would like to sneak attack now, you're very welcome to.
Yes, we will sneak attack. So I'll deduct my AP to do a basic attack and see how we do. Whew. 16.
That's 16, very good. Yep. Which of these AP cost things are you doing? Basic attack or... Oh, you can't.
It's just a
basic attack, because it's a boss. Yeah, okay. Cool. So, yeah, make your basic attack.
So we'll take the spike
that was it, I guess.
club and just smash it into whichever limb is nearest us.
Sure, yeah, okay. So that's going to do 2 damage, which... I mean, this thing's got 6 legs, so you manage to, basically snap one of them. They're very spindly, as ant legs tend to be, and you pretty much tear it off at the block of ice that it's sticking out of as it sort of staggers sideways. While we're here, why don't you take your turn for the next round? We're doing a really Ellis heavy series of things. What do you do after getting this leg?
So as soon as the leg comes off, just say, we got one! And 3 thumbs come out of the trench coat simultaneously. And then the top goblin has the scimitar again, and we'll just follow up on that spike club with the scimitar straight down into the next.
For another leg.
Yeah, another leg.
Roll for me.
11.
That's another success. Yeah, so your scimitar sweeps down and you slice through another one of these legs right by the ice, and this huge frost ant has now been impressively imbalanced to one side, and it staggers sideways. Bailinator Jones, you are right here, right in front of it.
Oh God! Why is it always me?
It's let go of your arm. So these attacks have distracted it. So your arms are free now. What do you do? So it's in front of you. It's got a huge crack down the ice in the front of it with one of Clam's thorns stuck inside it, and it's missing 2 legs now. So it's staggered sideways. It's very prone to damage. Let's say.
Okay. I'm just thinking either another wild attack, maybe, or charge.
What's charge do?
Basically, it charges at them and knocks them down, basically. You
lock your gaze.
Yeah.
You lock your gaze on a nearby destination, summoning all of your strength to charge towards it. You violently barrel through any foes in your path, knocking them down and dealing 1 damage to each of them. Creatures you knock down are dazed and cannot use special abilities during the next turn. So what are you aiming for the pedestal? Is that what you're running towards?
Yeah, I think because we need to get there.
Okay.
Just to try. I'm not quite sure what will happen if I don't do that.
Yeah. Okay, spend the AP.
Yeah.
So you got
That's 2.
Move your AP down to 9. Yep.
Cool. Now, do I roll for this?
No, it doesn't require a roll of the die. So you knock them down and deal 1 damage. So as you crash through, you manage to, these 2 legs missing, you barrel forward basically, like a rugby player, shoulder forward, and just batter this thing sideways, and it skitters onto its back, and it's now lying back down, legs up in the air,
like a
huge crack down the front of it. Exactly, yeah, like wriggling around.
Turtle.
Unable to move. Forquare.
Forquare takes out his longsword, which is almost as long as he is tall.
Like a tripod.
Swings it over his head and runs full pelt at this ant, jumping on it to drive the longsword into the crack.
Roll for me. That's a hit. You leap with an agility that is unexpected of a character of your stature.
He is Yoda.
112.
Yeah, who's 112. Up into the air, and you come down sword first, hilt gripped, pointing downwards, and you plunge this sword straight into this icy crack running down the middle of this sky. and you hit for 2 HP. It's now... So you are now standing on top of it, on the slippery ice, with your sword right in the centre of it. Clam, what do you do?
Clam is going to take a quick invigorating swig from his magical brandy flask, and then draw his rapier and shout, "Kabla!" and dive in much in the same fashion that Forquare did, except, more swashbuckly and rapiery.
Sure.
Attacking the same crack.
Yep, everyone's going for that crack.
Okay, roll in. Oh!
Oh, no.
Here we go. Oh,
that's a 1.
It's fine, because I've been waiting for this.
Okay, that's a 1. That is what the game describes as a catastrophe. So what are we going to do about this? How are we going to respond to this?
Oh, Jesus God.
Classic Clam.
You had one job, Clam.
You miss.
Okay.
Substantially.
And that's
you significantly misjudge what you were aiming to do, and you overshoot, basically sailing right over Forquare's head. You manage to get 1 foot on the ice block in the middle of this body, but it's a block of ice, you absolute goon. And you, skate down to the end, and you land leg first in the mandibles of this thrashing monster. And it is going to hit you without... I'm not even rolling an attack here, because you've basically run into its jaws, and you're going to take 4 damage.
Oh man!
As it wrenches your leg. You feel it in your hip. You feel tendons tearing. It is brutal. And it is now the Frost Queen's turn.
My iliotibial band.
On your mouth. Oh no!
Who crunches down again.
I'll stop you there.
In the hopes of... Yeah, go on.
Because Clam is going to use Petrify and petrify his clothing.
Well, hang on.
And I can do this as a reaction.
It's not your turn.
I can do this as a reaction. Yes. You may cast this spell as a reaction to an incoming attack during another creature's turn. So, as I feel those mandibles crunching down, I'm going to go, "Make me wilds, nature. Make me as hard as a man can be." And turn my clothes to stone temporarily.
Okay, so the wording of this is: you encase your armor or clothing with a chitinous shell. The shell absorbs up to 10 hit points of damage. If you were hit by a non-magical weapon, the weapon shatters to pieces. The carapace crumbles away immediately after it takes damage. You may cast this spell as a reaction to an incoming attack during another creature's turn. So I'm going to roll for this attack.
Good ability.
And we'll see. And that's a failure. So you don't actually need to spend that AP, given that I failed. So you can withdraw that if you want. It's good to know that you've got it, though. That's cool.
Yeah, I think you need...
But given the Queen failed, you don't actually need to cast the spell. So the Queen attempts to crunch down on your leg, but you manage to wriggle free, coming backwards. You're ready to cast this thing, but you manage to get free just in time. And it's now... That was the Queen's turn. Forquare, you are in a commanding position, standing on top of the Queen, who has this big hard spike right through the middle of her and is lying there wriggling, having just missed Clam's leg. What do you do?
This feels like a marvellous time, given that my sword is pointing to the innards of this beast, to once again use Magic Strike with an overloaded missile to AP.
So yeah, I guess this comes out of the end of your sword?
It does.
Is that right? So you grip the sword, and the magical energy flows through your arms and down straight through the blade, and forms a expanding golden bubble of energy, which explodes, shattering the body of this beast. The entire abdomen just blasts, and the ice melts to steam around you, and you sort of fall through basically into the guts of this thing, and you have defeated the Frost Queen. Congratulations.
Hey!
Woohoo! Well done, Forquare.
So, now that you've done it, the pedestal in the middle of the room, you hear that familiar crackling, fizzing sound that you heard in the first chamber as golden sparks coalesce into another little leather pouch on the pedestal. Who's going for it?
Well, I'm closest, but I'm also I've also got 4 HP. So
I'm not going to spring an attack on you
okay.
at this moment.
Okay. Bailinator Jones
cool.
goes and picks it up.
Okay, Bailinator Jones, you pick up this leather pouch and you carefully open it and find a scrap of paper that the top of which lines up with the tear from the first scrap of paper. Ooh. And it has a single line of text on it. It appears to have been torn on both sides, above and below this line of text. And it says, "Then scratch these lines upon the chart to find the place where lives the bird."
The bird.
So you've got the 4 lines you have so far are just 3 more lines will show the way to fame and fortune, hearth and home. To find the first, follow the signs beneath the sparkling crystal dome. The elder's tomb provides a second. A holy place reveals the third. Then scratch these lines upon the chart to find the place where lives the bird. So I think that's probably a good place to take a pause and cut for the next session. Everybody take, let's say, 5 AP for your excellent efforts there.
Well, hey.
And you can all learn a new ability before we get back together for the next session.
All right.
So, what will our heroes encounter next time? They know that they're looking for a tomb, and they're also looking for some kind of holy place. Let's find out next time on the Finite Adventure thing.
Quest room.
Quest, that's the one, that's the name of the game. The Finite Adventure Quest room. Yay!
Soon.
Bye-bye.
So that was part 2 of the Infinite Escape Room quest. Name still pending, 2 parts in. Join us for part 3, the penultimate part, next week, where we desecrate a tomb, miss a side quest, and roll some very bad die. In the meantime, though, thanks very much for listening. You can subscribe to us on all of your favourite apps, feeds, iTunes, and over at our website, infiniteescaperoom.com. You can also follow us and get in touch via Facebook and Twitter at @tier_podcast. If you've enjoyed the episode, and we hope you did, then why not sling us a buck or 2 via our Patreon program? It's a really big help in keeping us online, and we'll send longing looks of love your way. Anyway, we'll see you next time on the Infinite Escape Room. Bye-bye now.